How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Cricket District. Today we're here with Sky Sports Cricket and the one and only Nasser Hussain. We're going to get his World Cup predictions. Remember, you guys can watch almost every game of the Cricket World Cup live on Sky Sports and now from October the 5th. Right, Nasser, before we get started, it's been an epic summer of cricket. I'd love to know what some of your favourite moments have been. Obviously, you've been commentating for Sky throughout the season.
Favourite moment? Well, all of the Ashes. Virtually every single ball. I mean, we build it up to be such a series and it absolutely delivered. Obviously the Lord's Test and the Bairstow stumping and the events either side of that and the Stokes innings. I could go through the whole, Wood and Wokes at Headingley. The whole of the Ashes was just magnificent. I loved every single ball of it, commentating on it with the likes of Ricky Ponting and Mark Taylor. We had an absolute thrill, and if we enjoyed it so much, and I've been around forever with the game of cricket, if we're still enjoying it that much, you can imagine what the spectators were doing. It was a brilliant series. Brilliant,
and the action doesn't stop. We're straight into a World Cup. Tell me what you're most excited about heading to India.
Well, it being India. Yeah. India is still the heartbeat of world cricket. You only have to see how already it's going through the roof, the attention. I saw Pakistan landed yesterday in Hyderabad and their team bus was engulfed with fans wishing them well, and the hype has begun because it's India, because it's World Cup. You can imagine when you get there won't be a quiet day. First thing I looked at was my schedule, India-Pakistan game at Ahmedabad. I'm doing that, so I'm looking forward to that. And the opener, obviously, New Zealand, England, a rematch of that magnificent final in 2019.
Fantastic. You mentioned the intensity is already ramping up. I'd love to know your predictions for the tournament. I remember you saying on Sky Sports that you think India are favourites. I think a lot of the cricket world would agree with you, but are you backing them to win the tournament? And if not, who else are you backing?
Well, I've got England-India as the final, but I might be completely wrong. Could well be Australia-Pakistan if I say that. But history tells you the number one ranked side. I think they've just gone to number one ranked this week, India, and the home side as well. Those two things are very important going into a World Cup. You've been playing a lot of cricket and playing well, and India have been doing that. So I'm going India, and I still see England as a massive threat. Double World Cup winners, 50 over, 20 overs. You only have to look at the side they put out against Ireland, and the depth of English cricket, especially with the bat, is phenomenal. They may not be as well placed as they were as Morgan's side 4 years ago, but they're still pretty well placed. So I'm going those two sides. But there are every side naming, like as we speak, Australia have named their final squad. Every time I look at a squad, I go, crikey, they're a good side. Simon Doull have tipped South Africa. I looked at that side and went, Dooley's got a point there. So it's been a shame. There's a lot of injuries recently, so some players are missing out. That's a real shame when it comes to a World Cup.
Yeah, you mentioned England-India final there. I'd love to know your predictions for top run scorer and top wicket taker. Both of those categories coming from those two teams?
Well, that's why, I have gone because of that. Yeah. Because if obviously to lead the run getting and wicket takers, you need to play as many games and also bat and bowl in vital positions. So with the bat, I've gone Rohit Sharma. Top of the order, opening. It's the best place to bat in white ball cricket. Phenomenal player, 3 double hundreds in white ball cricket. So I think he'll be leading run getter. Who knows? I'm going to go Adil Rashid for England. Spinner in India, wicket taker in those middle overs. I know he's had a bit of a quiet time, but they said that about him before the World T20, and he was magnificent in that as well. So I see him as a big tournament player with a big role to play for England.
You mentioned two very well-established players there who've had a phenomenal white ball career so far. I'd love to know who you're looking out for next, what your emerging player of the tournament would be. Are there any names on tip of your tongue?
I don't know if he's still emerging, but I've never seen him in the flesh, and that is Shubman Gill. As in, I've not been at a ground. I've watched the IPL where he smashed it everywhere. I've watched the Asian Games where he smashed it everywhere. I've watched some feeds of county cricket where he smashes it everywhere. And I just want to watch him because he is like Rohit. Actually, I cannot think of a more pleasing on the eye opening combination than Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. For all the power hitting of white ball cricket, to have two touch players. So Shubman Gill, I think, is going to be, if he's not close already, a superstar of the game.
You mentioned Gill, you mentioned Sharma there. I believe Ashwin has just been named in the squad. It sounds like you're tipping India to go all the way. I'd love to know what you think makes a side successful in India? What are the keys to winning big games and big tournaments?
I think this particular one is going to be adapting to conditions, because there's so many venues in so many different parts of India, north, south, east, west, so many different conditions, early season out there as well. So don't just presume it's going to be spin to win or how you play spin. The ball could go through, seamers. But the biggest thing is handling pressure. You look at England in the last 2 World Cups and having Stokes around. Stokes has been that man that handles those pressure situations. That's why he wants them back, and that's going to be the biggest challenge for India. Home favourites, big expectation of them, how they handle that expectation. They've grown up as Indian cricketers all their lives with that, but it's how they handle that. Dhoni did it brilliantly in 2011. Can Rohit do it this time?
You mentioned you're commentating in Ahmedabad, that massive stadium, I believe over 100,000 people, India v Pakistan playing there. What are you predicting happens on that occasion? Can you see Pakistan finally overcoming India on a big stage?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to do it in Dubai, and I was on comms when Shaheen bowled that magnificent spell up front in the World T20 in Dubai. Of course they can. Pakistan are playing brilliant cricket. Top 2 ranked side at the moment. That will be some occasion. I just look forward to those games as a neutral. The hype and so much going on, but to be a neutral, just even the drive in or the day before, and the 500 news channels in India, and all the hype, and then you turn up and the cricketers really just love playing against each other, and it's just it's far from it, but it just feels like another game of cricket to them. So it is. Like I say, it's the first thing I look on my rota is India-Pakistan.
Brilliant. And finally, you mentioned you've been to India several times. I'd love to know if there's one city or one ground that has the best atmosphere, or one venue that you're predicting is going to have an absolute cauldron of an atmosphere. What would it be?
Well, for me, Chennai is where I was brought up. So I was born in Chennai, Madras then, when I was growing up, and my dad was a member there. So I used to play on the outfield as a little boy with my brothers, while my dad was at the bar, basically. So that has obviously a very fond memories for me. I just love Mumbai. I love everything about Mumbai. I love the ground. I love the city. I love where we stay. I just love Mumbai.
Fantastic. Nasser, thank you so much for your time. Remember guys, you can watch the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup live and exclusive on Sky Sports Cricket, and now from October the 5th.